Right, this is the Atari 2600 Junior, you know. We got this in 1987, about 180 quid. We got it from Electronics Boutique, which was a great game shop in Dublin, which is gone now. All we have is GameStop, you know. Yeah, I remember I went in there and there was a big queue to get this, you know. I wasn't expecting that, like, you know, because at the time the NES was the hot console at the time, and we thought no one would give it two shits about the Atari 2600 Junior. So I thought we'd be able to walk in there, buy it, and go home. But when I got there was a big fucking queue, so was in queue for about, what, 15 minutes, you know, before I actually got to the till. And the man says, "Can I help you?" He says, "Yeah, I'd like to buy the Atari 2600 Junior." And he says, "I'd say 185 quid. Thanks very much." Came box with a controller, and I'm fucking happy with it, you know. Uh, it still works to this day, which is awesome. Um, it's really just a cheaper way for Atari to make the Atari 2600, because they stopped making the bigger models and start focusing on this, you know. Which I think this looks fucking cool with the strip and everything else, like, you know. And these ones are a lot lighter, smaller, and a bit more reliable, I think, you know. All the parts on the back, power, the difficulty switches, you know. It takes RF, you know. Now these can be modified for AV if you want them, but I don't like modifying my consoles because I don't know how to do it, and I think it just ruins the look of the console. That's my own opinion. People think we don't care what it looks like once we can connect it to a modern television. But anyway, we don't have the skills, and I wouldn't do it anyway. We've got an old school telly downstairs, so that does me, like, you know. So power switch on and off. Has an LED light, which is something new. The older Atari 2600s didn't have an LED, which is cool. So you know that it's on. If you hit it, that's the power switch. It turns on, so you know that it's on, like, you know. Whereas with the earlier ones, you had no idea it was on unless it came up on the screen, which is cool. Same deal, colour black and white, like, you know. But 1987, like fucking colour televisions were standard, like, you know. Select, reset, and all. That's where the cartridges go. So I think it's awesome, look, you know. I think, and this one was made in Taiwan, you know. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot more of these out there, and they're a lot more cheaper, in my opinion. Yep. You know, you'll find these on eBay for fairly cheap, but normally they come with a whole bunch of games. Now that's what I should have done, you know. We should have waited till now, 2018, to get an Atari 2600. If we did, it would have gotten a lot more value for my money, you know. But we bought this brand new at the time. I actually got Desert Falcon the same time I got my Atari 2600. You know, so I had to get the game separately, and the game was like, what, 50 quid, which was a lot of money back then, you know. So I had to save up to get it, but I wanted it, you know, because I actually gave a shit about Atari, you know. I had now we bought an NES just like everybody else, but I still loved Atari regardless, you know. But when I went to Electronics Boutique, there was a queue. I was surprised, and actually fucking was happy about that, because obviously people didn't forget about Atari either, you know. Yeah. But NES was just dominating, had the market cornered, so like, you know, third party developers like Konami and Capcom, they wouldn't make games for Atari because Nintendo made them sign a contract. So Nintendo were clever there, you know what I mean? You know, but I would have liked to see like Mega Man or Pro Protector on the Atari 2600, but it won't be as a good a version as the NES version, because the NES was such a better console technologically, 8-bit, it could do animation better and everything else better. So if it was on the Atari 2600, it wouldn't be as good a version, but I'd still like to see it anyway. You know, but at the time, Crossbow came out for the Atari 2600, which was an awesome game. But this is really at the end of the 2600's life cycle, as far as Atari is concerned. Anyway, around 1988, it was pretty much finished. Atari had pretty much given up on it, but the fans loved it and kept making games for it regardless, you know. And as far as I know, like the Atari 2600 went on to 1992. Like fans themselves kept making games for it. As far as I know, people are still making games for it. Like someone made Halo for the 2600, which is awesome. And I saw Wolfenstein 3D on the Atari 2600, so there's still a lot of love out there, which I'd like to see. And when the Atari VCS comes out in 2019, I hope it has the same success, and I hope it gets the same love that the 2600 did. But it's still up in the air what's going to happen with that. But we have faith in it. We think it's going to be a success. And I think when the Atari VCS comes out, I think it'll be pretty much the same size as this, or maybe just a bit bigger. I doubt it'll be as big as the old school wood Atari 2600, you know. But yeah, I think it's cool. And, but at the time, the NES, like I said, was dominating. And then Sega brought out the Master System, so like Atari was pretty much fucking out of the run and just wasn't making the money. And then in 1980, shortly after, they brought out the Atari 7800s, which again just didn't do well enough. You know, like Atari didn't let anyone know that the 7800 was out, and it was only released in limited quantity in certain shops because the NES was just dominating. It was selling like hotcakes, and retail stores were happy with that. They weren't willing to sell Atari stuff because they knew it wouldn't sell, or it wouldn't sell that well. So it's all about making money, you know. And the 2600 Junior, it did pretty good. Like a lot of them sold, like I said, actually a queue. But the 7800, no one fucking gave two shits about it. You know, because everyone was thinking at the time, Jesus, Atari's going to make more games for the 2600 Junior. But not that many, like I said. Crossbow, Desert Street, fucking Desert Falcon. But there are other games like Zaxxon and Vanguard, which are awesome games. Like all these games I would recommend, so that's just my opinion on it, you know. It's an awesome console, I would recommend getting it. If you only have money to get one Atari 2600 console, I say get the Junior. It's more reliable, it's easier to set up and stuff, and it just looks a bit better with the strip, you know. And yeah, it's more reliable. So thanks for watching if you're watching, and I'll see you all later. Thank you and goodbye.